Hey,
Hey,
what's happening?
everything is chill, man. How are you doing today?
I'm doing just great. Doing just great.
You seem so cool and relaxed. What happened, man?
Oh yeah, I'm real chill right now.
Yeah, you have a good weekend?
Not really. Like well, I mean, it's trivial. I mean, because the sports thing, I wanted Lamar Jackson to make it to the Super Bowl, and they lost.
Oh,
So I had to take the L. He just got to come back stronger next year.
oh man. Do you have somebody else who you like rooting for? Like your
Yeah, I'm
backup?
Patrick Mahomes. I can't stand the 49ers, man. They so lucky. I cannot stand them. I'm serious. You know.
Dang, not lucky. Would you
Oh
think they're
God.
gonna take it?
What'd you say?
You think they're gonna take it all the way?
Oh
And
yeah,
win?
definitely. Yeah, Kansas City gonna take it. They're gonna take
Mhm.
it. Yeah.
Don't worry, my friend, she hates Patrick Mahomes as well. Every time he's on TV, she's just like, ugh. But she's a Browns fan, so.
Oh, okay. Okay. She
Well,
got good
what?
reason.
Right? Bring us in. So welcome us. Set us up, love doctor.
Right. So what's happening to everybody? All right. Before we get started, I just want to just let everybody know that that you are important, that you are valuable enough. Sometimes when we get into relationships, we tend to think that we are not good enough. And sometimes people don't make us feel secure enough to think that we're good enough. But I want you to know that if somebody doesn't value you, um, then that is not the person for you. So, I just wanted y'all to know that. Just stay positive and just choose a person that's going to give you the same energy that you give them.
Wow, look at this. Well, welcome. I like this energy. I like this positive vibe energy. I'm here for it. So
Okay.
welcome to the podcast, everybody, right? Thank you, Mr. Love Doctor, for warm of it. I like to call it like a warm welcome. You warm us up.
Right. Absolutely.
All right. So thank you guys for joining us today. This is our podcast, The Love Doctor, Pain, Love and Pain,
That's
right?
right. That's
Because
right.
sometimes with love, you gotta have a little bit of pain, right?
Right. Definitely. Especially when you're on that journey for love, you'll come across a lot of pain before you reach the promised land.
Absolutely.
Mm.
So today's topic, just I want to put it up there. We're not going to get into it right away, but today's topic is how do you get over the fear of being hurt? Right? That's
Mm.
today's topic.
Yes.
So we're gonna give our point of views, him from the married man perspective, me from the angry black woman perspective who's single. So we're going to, but before we go get into that, so we like to talk about, who we are. Love Doctor, introduce yourself, give us a rigmarole, how we can find you, all the good stuff.
Okay. Like she said before, I'm a former guy who was always a player, always, was a ladies' man. I had a lot of females and I kept them in rotation for years, all of my adult life until 5 years ago. I decided, I kind of had a self reflection that it was time for me to make a change because I was hurting people and it was not a good fit. As I see my daughters getting older and then I see them in the dating game, I
Mm,
that was just not really what I was about. Because like I was kind of conflicted because I was a family man, but I was still out in the streets, going out on trips. I was married previously. I never was committed. And I just went into it with the wrong mentality. But 5 years ago, I made a change and I went on a search. It took me a while, but I finally found that person that satisfied all my needs and wants.
oh, I'll never get tired of that. Where did you guys meet?
We actually met in Las Vegas. She's from Chicago, um, and I'm from Columbus. And yeah, it was just like when we first met. Everything just went smooth. Like it was like the conversation, everything was easy. We had a great time. Um, and hey, we just clicked from the beginning and we just took off from there and we just stayed connected and we made it happen. I knew that was the person for me. I didn't have time to waste. So I got married on my 50th birthday.
Oh, well, congratulations. Yeah. They show that people who get married in their 40s and 50s, they tend to last longer. So that's great for you, man,
Right.
right?
Again, like I said, it's better because when you get into your 50s, where I was heading into my 50s. I'd already did all my messing up out here, so
Mhm.
I wasn't going to change anymore. I'm set in who I am. So now the person that she got is the person she's always going to have,
That's
because
nice.
I'm not going to change. I've already did all my messing up. Now both our kids are grown, except for have one little one, but
Mhm.
we don't have any children, so it's like we could do whatever we want. We kicking it. You know what I'm saying? We can just enjoy our life and just have fun, and and hey, that's where we at.
Okay, I love it. I love that for you guys. I think it's beautiful. One of my questions earlier today on Facebook, because I like to ask a lunchtime talk question every day, was, where did you meet your significant other? And
Mm.
the questions or the answers were all over the place, right? Some people met them in clubs, some people met them in church, friend of a friend, dating apps, just all over. So you never know. That's a cool thing about life. You never know what's in store for you, what you're going to be blessed with,
That's
So
right.
I think that's great. Me, on the other hand, my name is Champagne. But for all intents and purposes, you can just call me Pain. I am a single woman. I don't want that to be my only credit. It's not like I've been out here just fucking around all these years. I've dated, and I too was in a different place in my younger years, and not even a place of greatness, just more of a lot of trauma and healing that I needed to do. And I think a lot of people don't realize you need to. A lot of us come from trauma and issues, and we have problems that we David said we love you too, baby. And we have problems, we have issues, and we don't realize that those problems or issues are there, and they don't always manifest in you treating people wrong. Sometimes it manifests itself as you're not finding the people who will treat you right. So I've dated, been close to it, close to the altar, but no toupee, no cigar. And right now I'm in a point of just really enjoying life. I think I've done a lot of healing within the past 10 years, healing that I didn't know I needed to do. And once I started getting through that, it changed really a lot. Like
Mm.
really, really a lot. So I'm hoping to bring some insight from me and my world travels and how that has helped me out in the dating game. Because once I changed myself mentally, the quality of dates that I received was up, baby. It went up. So like this week, one of the things we have is the catch up. So we introduce ourselves. We have a catch up. Like this weekend, you were sad because the 49ers they're going and your people are not going to the Super Bowl. Is that correct?
Right.
Are
Absolutely.
you doing a party?
No, I'm not gonna do it. I'm out here in Las Vegas. Last year we went to a casino and watched, and it was live too. It was popping, and we had a nice time. I mean,
Yeah.
you chill like for real. And the Super Bowl is actually going to be in Vegas, so it's going to be really crazy. So I don't know. I may not go out. I might just watch it at home this year. Yeah,
Okay. I think
I
that's
don't think
smart. You're like right there in the heart of everything.
right, exactly. I can just go on a vacation on the strip. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to go out of town to go on vacation. That's the good thing
Mm,
about. That's one of the reasons why I always wanted to settle out here, is because it's a vacation every day. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? I look out my
Mhm.
window, I can see mountains, um, palm trees. So hey, I'm good.
That is pretty dope. So, did you do anything else this weekend, or anything else in the news caught your eye?
Actually, it did. And
Ooh,
and we can get into that.
let's go.
There was a issue with the prosecutor Fonnie Willis.
Mhm.
Um, she just got she's under investigation for having an affair with Nathan. Hold on, let me what's his name. I just did a show on him. I'm tripping. Um, with what's his name? Wait a minute. Prosecute. Yeah, Nathan Wade. I'm sorry.
Mhm,
Yeah,
mhm.
she just Nathan Wade. She put him. She's assigned to prosecute Donald Trump, and Donald Trump sent his investigators out. Like if you prosecuting Donald Trump, he's a higher power, so he's gonna send. If you got any dirt in your background, he's gonna find it. So just
Right.
so happened, Nathan Wade is going through a divorce with Jocelyn Wade, and And there, hold on, I'm gonna bring up the screen here. This is Nathan Wade right here. Hold on. You bring it up. There it is. That's Nathan Wade, and then that's Fonnie Willis. And what happened was he was going on elaborate trips and everything with Fonnie Willis while he was married, and so his wife sensed something was wrong, and so she filed for divorce. And in the divorce background, they looked up all the credit card statements, and remember, she hired him, and she paid him $630,000 to help out with this case, and he used some of that money to go on. Like they went to like the islands, they went to San Francisco, Florida. I mean, they've been kicking it. So so this was crazy. And like I said, this is the same prosecutor who actually prosecuted the YSL gang with Young Thug and everything, and he's sitting in there right now. And then now she's she out here wilding in the streets. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I did a whole special on this thing on my I have another YouTube channel where I go into a little bit deeper, and I just discuss about some of the cases that's going on with the current events and stuff like that. And I'll make sure I get that link out before we leave. But she out here. I mean, like I said, you can't be out here and and like I said, this is a bad look at work at best. It's a bad look. You can't. Because they weren't on this was not a workshop they were going to on a cruise, and you in a beautiful island and you looking at all this clear water. Come on, man. You know it was going down. You already know.
So Skeptical JP, he said that she's being accused of having an affair with a married man in Atlanta, and she was investigating Donald Trump.
Yes.
And his divorce hearing was sealed, which does not happen.
Oh, yeah. So some shady stuff going on over there.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And his girl is cute. That's the thing. He had a young little cute wife, and he had to go out there and mess with this older lady. That was his boss and everything. Hold on, I'm gonna bring her. Let me bring. Let me see screen.
So how did they find out?
This is her right here.
Oh, she's cute.
She's cute little chocolate thing. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
you gonna get up there and you gonna mess with some. Come on now. She looked like a fullback. You know what I mean? Come on.
It's
straight
nothing, up. It's not about.
I'm just saying though. Like, I'm just saying. This is the type of thing. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's just and this as we go into our talk of how to get over being hurt. Like, these are the types of situations that cause hurt. If you wanted to go out, then why don't you just divorce your girl? Like, just divorce her, or had that conversation with her. But you was being sneaky and acting like it was work and all that stuff, and now hey, this might have cost Miss Willis her career, and yours. So hey, this come on now, this is that's why it's just hard to trust people. And that I think that was the reason why it took me so long to where I could even put myself in a position to be hurt, is because as a young man, I was talking to a lot of I talked to married women and stuff like that. And I did not want to be no husband that had a wife that was going to be cheating on it. So that's why I was like, it was safer to not get married. I might as well just go out here, no emotional attachments, and
It is easy when you see that, because I see that I see guys, married men all the time, start shooting their shot, and I'm like, ew, y'all ain't faithful. And it's hard to not paint that broad stroke brush, especially when these are men who are like pillars of the community, and they're talking to you all crazy in your inbox and messaging, and it's like, wow, if this person can't be faithful. And you see what type of chick they have, like these are 10s, and you're like, I know I don't look like her, but people are just, I don't know. We have to do a whole nother conversation on cheating, because I don't know that is necessary. I think it's a multitude of issues, so I want us to stay on track. But it does foster that hurt that you're talking about, because now when you're in a relationship with someone, now you have to think, oh my goodness, are you going to be faithful? Are you always going to be stepping out? Are you? You know, I've seen some of the coldest chicks, and their dudes still step out. I see some chicks who, you know, did everything.
Right. I mean, because see, this is the thing. Beauty always fades. You get used to beauty. No matter how fine your woman or your man may be. After a while, I mean, it's, you know, they're just, if you see them every day, then, you know, the value always decreases as far as the look wise. You're not going to be excited every single time you see someone if you didn't see them for years. So, yeah. So after a while, I mean, things that are different might intrigue you a little bit more because it's something that you know, that's completely different from what you have, or might be a younger version or whatever the case may be. So in your mind, it's like, you know, that's something different that I don't normally get. So it's more exciting. Or sometimes guys, they cheat because it's like it's more powerful when you're being sneaky and getting away with it. It adds to the you know, to the affection and the overall experience, because you're sneaking and doing it, and you're not, you know what I'm saying, you didn't get caught. So but like I said, you playing with fire, because you know, one thing that I realized when I turned, you know, 45, women are not stupid. You know what I'm saying? And the thing that is the intriguing thing about women, about the survival, is that you guys are by nature designed to notice change, which is a survival tactic. Because if you, like, when you have a baby, if you see that the baby ain't right a little bit, you might, you know, that's how you could keep the baby alive. You're like, hold on, is something going on with his face is a little red, or whatever the case may be. You're keen on seeing those types of changes, which helps babies live longer. Because if you don't see it, you know, as a guy, I might see him crying, like, man, come on, babe, shut up. Just give him a bottle or whatever. You know, we don't look at things the same way you guys look at it. So I think that your survival mechanism is sometimes, you know, some of the things that you know, that you could tell when a guy's cheating, or it's something's different about it.
That makes sense. You do start to a shift in the atmosphere, and that gaslighting starts coming out of nowhere, and you're like, you never shower when you get home. Now all of a sudden, every day you got to shower when you get home, and then it's like, oh no, you just a nigga can't shower. I can't be clean. And then you're like, well, I mean, that is a valid point. He can't shower, he can't be clean. So now you're like, why do I like a nasty dude versus he done? But you know, it happens. It happens to the best of us. But I do have a question for you. So,
sure.
Skeptical JP says, is marriage worth it in today's age?
If you get the right person, it is. But if you get somebody that is not on the same page as you, has different goals, it might be just a user. And if you're not that person, that's just you get off by giving, then, you know, you guys have to match up. But if y'all got different agendas, I mean, I told you, if you just get married for money or for trivial reasons, you know, marriage just becomes a business. And the reason is like I said, if it's not a business, then all you need is a ceremony. You don't have to sign no paperwork. But since it's a business, and if you have things to lose, like financially, and you know, then it may not be a good thing for you.
That's a good point. Hi, Chris. So as we talk about getting you're hurt, you're dating. Did you have a lot of hurt while you were out here dating? Did that kind of stop you? Did the hurt stop you from making good decisions, or did it control how you acted in those relationships? How did hurt affect you in the dating game?
Okay, well, for me, you have to understand that my father programmed me at an early age. He said that women come a dime a dozen, don't have any feelings for them. So when I was young, he created a monster. I was incapable of having any type of emotional connection with a woman. It was beyond me. There's no way that a woman could have hurt me by any means. I didn't care, in all honesty. So even through my marriage, I really did not care. Like I got married for the wrong reasons. Like I told you, she was a lot older than me. I didn't marry her for her being a sexual object. So that type of thing didn't bother me at all. The only thing that I was emotional about when I was younger was money. When I had my shop, if I got beat in a deal or something like that, then I would get mad and it would affect my day. But you know, as far as a female having sex with somebody else and things like that, it was impossible for me to have an emotional attachment to a woman in that manner, because I knew most of them was hoes.
Damn. I mean, everybody's a hoe, I guess. Everybody has hoe tendency. Like, I
Right.
guess
So,
if you keep that, if you keep that in your forefront, and I think me and my mom was talking about being emotionally disconnected. If you don't go into a situation, you don't put it all out there on the floor, then you're less likely to get hurt because there's nothing to put out there. I
absolutely.
think in my situation, the hurt for me was more so um, picking guys who was just like, I feel like to this person, I'm a good catch. So in essence, they should treat me pretty well because in comparison to what they dated, I feel like I'm pretty good here. So I think for that, it was more so selecting safe choices.
Mm.
Whereas if you were like I know my dad probably, and I've never dated thugs. So I always hear Pookies and Ray Rays. My family has Pookies and Ray Rays. There's nothing a Pookie and Ray Ray I was interested in. But these are like guys where you kind of look at you have a daughter. She's like, how's your daughter?
Well, let's see. One is
Your
we.
oldest,
I got.
or the one that I met. She's in college. She was in
Oh,
college.
yeah,
She was
she's
telling me.
29. She'll be 30 in March.
Okay, 30 in March. All right. So you have a certain type of regard for your daughter, like my dad has for me. There's a certain expectation that he kind of expects for me to carry myself. So if you see her not necessarily bringing in a Pookie or Ray Ray, but this dude, he's like he really don't work all like that. He works on and off, and he got a kid or two, and your daughter is a high performing individual, and she loves people, and he does just enough. You kind of look at your daughter like, hey, I know you like this guy, but I feel like you could do better for yourself. Those were the type of guys that I was dating, where it's just more like a sure thing. But I think in the whole scenario, they kind of looked at it as, hey, this is a really good thing, but this ain't what I want. And because they were also older than me. So that hurt allowed me to pick more safe individuals, and for me to make more to stay in safe situations. I think people, when they're scared of hurt, they don't want to try and find something new because it takes so much work, and effort.
Mm-hmm.
I hear people in relationships where it doesn't work, and they don't leave because they're comfortable. You feel good staying where you're at. You don't have to go out here and build rapport. That was something else that kept me there. I was tired of trying to go and meet new people and have to have that conversation and stuff like that. So that's how my hurt. Yeah, that's how my hurt manifested. And it kind of sucks. It kind of sucks because you don't know how to deal with it, and you don't know that it's there.
But see, this is the thing. I mean, and you know what? It's funny that how you saying this because it sound like you dated down because you figured it was safe.
Mm-hmm.
And see, this is the thing about that. I've dated down where I really could have been in a relationship with that person because I respected their work and things like that because they were helping me do things and and eventually they won me over that way. But they weren't really my type. But we went, they wasn't my type. But the thing about why I said I would never do that again is because the next person she sold, this dude was so garbage. I was like, bro, this is the kind of dude you normally mess with. I had to look at myself like, man, let me start working out or something. Like, I done lost it. Like, I'm serious. So, yeah, I stopped. I don't settle. I stopped settling. I used to like, I would pick out a girl that might have one great quality or something like that and be like, oh, damn, she got a nice body. But, she had an attitude. She was lazy, whatever. But, she had a body. So I was like, oh, yeah, I mess with her, but no, you need to get someone who can complete you. I mean, that's the key. Someone that can complete you, someone that, where you may fall short and they're strong in and vice versa. And like I said, I mean, hey, it takes work. Sometimes you want to go on into a completed project where, hey, that love is not necessarily easy. It's full of compromise and, you don't know how it's going to go. You're taking chances. But all in all, if you really have your eyes on the prize and both of y'all are on the same level, then, it'll work. It'll work. You just got to find the right person.
Exactly. David said, "You never grow being comfy. Got to get uncomfy to get the results."
Yeah, yeah,
And
absolutely.
it wasn't until I started to really get into my business that I understood how that related to life, right? Because I can't really, in order to grow your business, you can't keep doing the same thing over and over again. I talk about that all the time. You can't do the same thing over and over again. You've got to get out your comfort zone. You've got to actually go and apply for licenses. You got to go and ask for people for their business. You have to market. You have to get out your way and grow in order to get to that next level. And I see the same thing like with relationships. I think me and Hef had this conversation one night. I was calling him and I was like, Hef, it just doesn't work. And he was like, y'all always date down, quit dating down. And it was like the last conversation we had, but he read me my rights. But so this is not really on. I want to get back to her, but I think this is always set Chuck off. So I am Kavito Clark says, what does everyone think about the 50-50 relationship status?
See, well, this is how I feel about the 50-50 thing.
Mm-hmm.
No such thing for me. If you're in a committed relationship, I need 100 and 100. That means that there should be no barriers between the two. Like I told you, my wife can go through my cell phone at any given time because I have nothing to hide. She don't go through it, but she can if she wants to because I don't have nothing to hide. Financially, we are financially united. I trust her with money. She trusts me. We're both responsible adults. And that's the only way that I can do it. Now, like I said, if you're making a significantly amount more than your spouse or your person, then you're gonna have to watch your money. You're gonna have to like get separate accounts. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. If they're irresponsible with money or whatever, you're gonna be a little insecure in that fashion. So I look at a relationship just like how we doing this podcast. So this is a podcast relationship that we have. You're starting off with me. We don't know where this is going to go, but we're like-minded individuals and we're committed to coming in every week. So it's the same thing with a relationship. You find somebody that's like-minded, that wants to grow, and that's how you started off, brick for brick. And if you grow together, then that's a bond that is almost impossible to break. So that's how you got to look at relationships in general. You grow with somebody, like I said, like what we're doing now. I just came on like, look, and like, hey, we done this before, we're going to grow together, plain and simple.
I get tired that 50-50 conversation has everyone on social media in such a chokehold right now, the 50-50 talk. And I had to quiet that. I really feel like it's just whatever works for your relationship. I have no feeling for it either way. I feel like when you get into a relationship, you give your all. I don't necessarily believe in 50-50. I don't know that you could quantify numerically what you give into a relationship. I know people aren't trying to do that. It's just for the sake of conversation. But I feel like when you go into a relationship, just like I go to a job, when I go to work, I put it all on the table. You should do the same in the relationship. Why are you holding back anything in a relationship? Especially if you're talking about forever and ever. Like, you need to put it out there. If you would work hard at work to get that promotion, to get that job, to get that office, to get that pay, why would you not do that same amount of effort in your relationship? So for me, I feel like you got to give it all on the table. He says, so then is dating down considered the equivalent to bringing stuff to the table? Dating down to me is, I don't think it's necessarily is only about money or it's only about looks. It could be a mindset. Like, okay, I like to work. Like I like to be a hustler. I know that no matter where you put me at in the city, in the state, I can make it happen. That's just who I am. I will never, if I work, I would never be complacent with me just having the same position forever. That would just never, that's not who I am. I'm going to want to work and grow and move up. It would be hard for me to date somebody who did not understand that mindset, wasn't receptive to that mindset, or who did not have that mindset. So dating down for me would to date someone who just couldn't get with that and they're complaining like you're always working, and they don't understand the vision that I have, that hey, this is what I'm trying to do when we retire, yada yada yada. So to me, that would be dating down, someone who's not in alignment with your overall brand, with your overall wants in life, with where you want to go. And I think when people do that, that's more so of a dating down. But what does dating down mean to you, Chuck?
I think dating down to me, it would be you just settling for something a lot less than what you really desire. For me, just like when I was married in my first marriage, I wouldn't say I was dating down. But like I said, she was a lot older than me. She couldn't have any more children. And the financial piece, I mean, for me, what I was good. Like I said, I was paying for my shop payments and I was taking care of the house payments. I never knew what she was getting for child support. I was taking care of everything for real. So I mean, like I said, I could kind of say that was dating down for me because I should have got somebody a lot younger with a lot more vigor that, you know, I could have had children with. We could have did more things that had the same energy and things like that. Because I remember, like I said, I had met some people that I really like during my marriage. I had met people that were wifey material, but since I was married, I couldn't get with them. You know, like I met beautiful young ladies that were intelligent, that I knew that this could really grow into something if I stayed on course with this, you know. And they were just excited about the little small things in life. Like I said, I had to work on a computer up in Cleveland, you know, and I was like, man, you come on up with me to Cleveland. You know what I'm saying? So when we got up there, you know, I stayed in a nice hotel. It's like, oh my God, all this for me. He was just so excited at the simple things in life. And I think that with my wife, she just like expected it, and she was nonchalant about stuff. And you know what I'm saying? Like, and when I seen that enthusiasm about the smaller things, that was really something that I should have had instead of someone that had been previously hurt, because she was married before and she was very bitter, and I was trying to heal her at the same time, but I was hurting her as well. So yeah, man, I mean, it's deep, man, especially when you get into the, you know, to the hurt aspect and the trauma and things of that nature.
And you bring up such a good point. I think oftentimes we only look at things from a certain perspective, right? I only look at it what men do because I tend to only date men, and men tend to date women, so they look at what women do when it comes to that incident. But I've dated hurt men and I've seen hurt women date. And I actually had an ex whose girlfriend was very hurt, and she used to do all kinds, like she was calling the chicks who were in his phone that were friends. She's calling them like, what's going on between you and my dude? And just the way that hurt manifests. And I think a lot of women don't understand that when you take that hurt with you, yes, you are able to get into a relationship quicker than dudes. Dudes will take forever to commit. Women will be ready to jump into a relationship just like that. But we don't heal enough. So we take that hurt energy into the new relationship, and then you have that new guy who's paying for all the hurt and the pain you went through, the old dude, just because you saw a glimmer of something that he did. And that ruins a lot of women's relationships, because they come to a point with some good dudes who are truly good. You know, they follow the rules. They don't cheat. They're really there for their woman, and she treats them so wild because of the hurt that she went through with somebody else.
Absolutely. She doesn't believe it.
She doesn't believe it. What were some of the things that your ex-wife did out of hurt in your relationship that kind of drove you away?
Well, I mean, first of all, what I noticed, and like I said, I was a young man, like I was in my 20s, I was in my late 20s. So certain things I did end up seeing. There was a certain side to her that I could never reach, that she's shut down from the beginning. And then she was always, even like in the beginning, like she would always be crying and stuff like that. And, you know, you're going to leave me like everybody else. And this, like, bro, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I'm a caring dude. Like all my babies, I love my babies. You know what I'm saying? And when I see somebody sitting there, she crying and stuff like that, I felt sorry for her. I'm serious. I felt sorry for her. So I didn't want to play her like everybody else. And I was trying to, and I was actually ready to get married at the time. Because like I said, I was on an upswing because I had just started my computer business and I was starting to roll. So I was actually at a great point in my life that I was ready to get married. But again, I just did it with the wrong person. She, like I said, I mean, and like I said, don't get me wrong. I mean, she was, a religious person. She did praise dancing, and things like that. So she wasn't really a bad person. But I think over time, I brought out the worst in her because she knew I was cheating after a while. She did. So I mean, that's just one of them times. I was young, and that's just where I was at that time. So I apologize to her. I mean, I can't change it.
Mm-hmm. I think that brings a great point of what hurt makes you do when you select your partners. When you're hurt, you select partners that will continue to hurt you. So I feel like that you can just live inside that hurt. And it's easier for people to live and be a victim, which is what I'm totally against. There are people who, I won't say women because I've seen this in men as well, but where they only date people who are like not the best people. And they continue to get hurt by these people who are not the best. And they complain about the hurt that these not the best people are doing. And it's like you pick this individual and they stay in that continuous hurt movement. I dated a guy and he got hurt by, his baby's mom. And I think that you see that hurt and you want to nurture them, especially if you're a nurturing person. You want to sit there and make them heal and make them whole. Like, come here, let me take care of you. I can help you. You can heal me. I can heal you. We can heal together. And I used to tell this dude I was with, like, you just gonna get yourself together. You gonna be with somebody else. And he would just like look at me, right? And like the internal part, like, Champagne, he's like, yes, you are absolutely right. But the idiot Champagne is like, no, you're supposed to say, no, I will never leave you. You're the one for me. So it's hard and you want to heal people, but I don't think you can. No, I don't want to say, I know you can't heal someone, especially if they don't want to be healed. And I think some people are just good people and they fall into traps with people who need you, who need to siphon and suck off of you. You were young and you were doing your thing and she was older. She want to siphon and suck that energy out of you. But how should we get over that hurt? Like, what do we do, in your opinion, to stop being hurt? And real quick, Kavito says, yeah, I feel like I was a boost to my ex-wife. We ended amicably. There we go, amicably. But I committed financial infidelity. And when we got divorced, she now has 2 kids and a life that she always wanted. Dude, I'm so sorry. Like, I don't know. I'm so sorry. But I think that's also, that goes to that hurt. Like, how do we get over that hurt? Because that's some deep hurt, Cav. Like,
right.
I can understand if you didn't want to get married again if that's the case.
Right. I think the first thing that we can do, the problem is with that is like, you have to first heal yourself before you jump into another relationship. Those people that jump from relationship to relationship, the hopeless romantics, you're always setting yourself up for failure. When you haven't been healed, your mind ain't right. You're not thinking clearly. So you're trying to grab onto any type of love or whatever that you feel that they have that you can get. So that's not good. Heal yourself first before you jump into another relationship. And then, and that's another symptom of dating down too. A lot of times people that have low self-esteem, they will date someone that they feel is lower than them because they feel as though, hey, I know they ain't gonna mess around on me. Just like you were saying earlier, I think that's a sign of low self-esteem because you're not dating somebody that is what you want, and it might be a control thing. There's a lot of women that are dating men that are in jail.
I know
they meet them in the prison pen pal system, and
I know,
and you know why? It's because it's safe. They're gonna be there on visitation every week. You know what I'm saying? They ain't going nowhere. That's the most stable thing. But just like if you ever watch that show called Love and Lockup, when they get out, as soon as they get comfortable, they're gone. It's only the incarceration, right? Well, I mean, I'm just saying, it's crazy. I mean, because like I said, you can't force anyone to love you. It doesn't matter if you feel that they're beneath you or whatever or above you. Human nature is human nature. I've seen on this. I don't know if you ever watched the 700-pound Life or whatever the case may be, where it was like fat people that weigh 700 pounds. When they lost a little bit of weight and got a little bit of independence, They had people that they would leave, because they went down from 700 to 500.
I saw that there's a chick. I forgot what show is it, but she's a plus size woman, and her dude is like, he has a chiseled body, like a nice body, and he's in love with her. So she's like, I'm trying to lose weight, and he's trying to come up with these sex games where he's involving whipped cream and like, he's having such a fit, and he's like, you're probably gonna be all stuck up like those skinny chicks, and that is, and it's true. It is a mindset. It is like a yes, like it's and I'm talking from where I was, because I used to move from a lot of hurt, and it was like a shoe in, like, this nigga got 4 kids, I got no kids, he has to know that I'm a win, right? Like, he got to know I'm a catch. And like, no, you can still not be a catch and lose out to a chick with 4 kids. But it comes down to like that self-esteem. Like, I think people, for myself, people make you feel bad because you can't make things work with people. And it's not always so cut and dry like that. Like, you shouldn't be able to connect with a lot of people. I don't connect with a lot of people. It's just who it is. I don't think a lot of people should be able to connect with people left and right, because you have to go through the process of figuring out if this person matches what you match, if y'all actually like each other. A lot of people don't even like each other. They just like what you can do for one another and what you look like. Right. She's cute or he's cute. But like, my ultimate test is COVID was a great way, which is why a lot of relationships was going through some shit during COVID. If you are stuck in a house with your significant other for 3 months and you can't leave, do you genuinely like this person? And a lot of people realize that, nah, they do not like the individual that they like, that they're with. Right. It's a lot of that going out there for that hurt. So what else did you do to help get over that hurt for yourself?
Well, for me, my hurt didn't come from someone else actually hurting me. It came from me hurting other people. That's where my hurt came from. Because like I told you, when I did my self-reflection, I just looked back at all the women that I had been through. And a lot of those were really good women that I could have potentially had something. It hurt me that I hurt them. And that's what made me want to change. And then it's funny because, like I said, as soon as I changed, and I was looking for something more, and I didn't want to date people that were damaged and things like that, it was really hard to find. Like, the first person I dated, man, this chick from Atlanta, I found out she was married later on. Like, she didn't even tell me. Like, I'm like, really? You know what I'm saying? So, look, I'm just saying, I know how rough it is out here in these streets. So but I think, it was kind of me seeing those little things was kind of like, it was a wake up call for me. Like, I should not take for granted, that I have a good person that's ready to be dedicated to me, and that we're on the same page. So like all the experiences just it just enhanced me to want to get married and want to do right, because like I said, I've cheated, I've done everything, and I know how it felt, like how bad I felt at first, and then after a while it just became numb. But I just seen the hurt that it did to my ex-wife and things like that, and I there was no way instead of me hurting someone, I'm going to protect them now. So I'm in a completely different mentality.
That's smart. The mental mind shift. I think people really misunderstand how it is important how your mind operates. When I did that work, that mental mindset for my mind, and I started working from a place of abundance versus a place of lack, meaning, oh, I got to hold on to this man because it's going to take me so long to find another man who I actually like, who I find attractive, who I like talk to. Oh, I got to hold on to this man. And when you operate from that area of lack, you fear, right? It's fear. You're operating from that area. It becomes true. Like what you, in this, I think we talked about this before, what you say becomes true. So I become more mindful of my thoughts. I don't believe that there's not a lot of good men left out there. I don't believe that at all. I believe there's a lot of good men out there. I think the real issue is finding the one that matches your vibe. So for me to get over my hurt, the first thing I did was I got counseling. I felt that the trauma that I went through growing up was worthy of actually going and seeking counseling. I think that's helpful because sometimes when you just live in your head and you're the only person listening to the ideas and the thoughts that come from your head, you kind of co-sign some crazy ass shit. Like, yeah, I should have hit him. He deserved that. I've never hit anyone, but that's things that you co-sign in your head because you only listen to yourself. So I felt that counseling was very helpful. It helped me unpack a lot of thoughts that I never thought about. Like, you are responsible for your own actions, right? I can't control Chuck. I can't control what Chuck does. I can't control who you see, what you smell like. I can't control anything about you. All I can do is control myself. Once that became a self-realization and it became a part of my mental mindset, that changed the whole entire game. It became easier to walk away from situations that no longer served me because I can't control it. And the things that I can control, it's not going to have the outcome that I want it to have. So I think it's time for me to move to a different avenue, a different place, right? Another thing I did to get over hurt that I worked through with hurt was I started journaling. I don't have a journal nearby, but I started journaling my feelings and putting my feelings down on paper. A lot of times we go through hurt and we hold it inside, which I don't recommend people to do. When you hold that hurt inside, it just festers and then it builds up and then boom, next thing you know, you're on Fatal Attraction because you couldn't get over somebody and you stabbed them in the neck with a pencil. You know, you got to get that out. And I know people feel like you a punk or you a simp or whatever, but when I'm hurt, I say that stuff. That really hurt me, how he found a new woman and we're supposed to be friends and he couldn't give me the benefit of, hey, I found somebody else I want to be with. You know, saying that stuff out loud and actually dealing with the pain. And it's a lot. And it can feel like breathtaking, like there's no place for you to go. But once I started working through that and dealing through that, that also became a game changer with the hurt. And then finally, my last one, and then I'll get off my high hook. My third one, but my third thing I did to help me release. I started understanding that people are complicated and quit taking things so personally. Let's say you and me dated and, you know, maybe you're like, hey, Champagne, I think you're fun. I think you're great. You got a little bit too much energy for me. It's not really something I'm into. And I don't want to have kids. And then people will break up. And then all of a sudden, Chuck's a bad guy. He ain't shit. He'll never be shit because of those things that were your truth. But like, that don't mean you're not shit just because we don't have the same things. We dated, we hung out, we kicked it. It didn't work. And that's okay. And I think a lot of people put too much emphasis on when things come to an end because you're like, I did all this work and it's for nothing. And it wasn't for nothing. There was lessons you needed to learn. There were things that you didn't get. Or my favorite, that just wasn't the right person for you. And instead of shutting it down at points where it should have been shut down, you just kept running with the shit. And now here you are. So once I started just understanding that life just life sometimes, it made dating easier. It made a guy who, you know, we stopped dating and it was really fun. But he wanted to go a different way than I wanted to go with. And I know it took him a minute to say it to me. But once he got on the phone and he told me where he was coming from, it was like, okay, cool. Well, you know, I had a good time. You had a good time. All right, well, thank you. I learned so much from you. You learned so much from me. When I got into the relationship, we poured into each other. We both left with more than we came with. Life is great, you know? So that just ultimately changed it so that I was not carrying that hurt into relationships. I didn't want to hurt a good man. I didn't want to make a good man feel bad.
I see.
Yeah.
And you know, another thing for me too, and when it comes to that too, like I always felt better. Like if it wasn't my fault that we broke up, then I felt a lot better about it. But if I was the one that messed it up, then that's when I felt bad about it because you know I could have done a lot better and I did not. So that hurts me. If I mess up, that's gonna hurt me more than anything. Because I've caused damage and I could have done better. So that, you know, so I think that was just part of me just in my, like I said, my personal development, just getting older. And like I said, and again, I've always had like females around me, like, you know, that I could kick it with all the time. So before I found my wife, I eliminated all that. Like if we're not dating with a purpose, then I don't want to date you. I even asked her like, so when the last time you talked to somebody? Now, like I said, if she had just got out of relationship, then we wouldn't work because I was being serious. Because like I told you, everybody that I was meeting, it was always they just wanted to have sex and things like that, and I was like, that ain't where I'm at. I ain't that same dude no more. I ain't trying to do that. Like, sex is gonna come, but I want to, I want more out of life.
Right.
And when I did, like I said, and that's why I say, Champagne, when a guy, when a guy's gonna let you know when he's seriously trying to be with you. Like, it ain't gonna be no games. He's gonna talk to you like you his wife. Like, he ain't gonna be playing. He ain't gonna be out here playing. Like, especially when we get older, I ain't got time to play. You know what I'm saying? I want to live my life. I want to do things. I want to build. I've already built an empire before, and it crashed down because of morals. And right now I got a second chance of life. And that's what I wanted. And I had to have somebody to share that with me, that we could be on the same page and we could do the same thing and we could love each other and we could be true to each other and have honest conversation. And that's what I see about a lot of young people and just people in general. The communication is terrible. And that's what it was. Like I said, the girl that I was talking to in Atlanta, she was like a goon. Like, I would be talking to her. Yeah. Like, damn, what's wrong with you? But then, at nighttime, come on, let's do it. What is this? That is not proper communication. You know what I'm saying?
That communication sucks right now.
Yeah, it's like, bro, look here, man. It's just like I said, it just got old. I got all that out of me, and like I said, I cleared out the whole deck. Like, when I met my wife, I didn't have nobody in my DMs, nothing. I cleared out everybody, and it was funny because I intentionally, like, with some people that I thought could have had a chance, like before then, like I kind of like talked to them like a little bit, like about being more serious, just to see where their head was. And like I said, it was just. It was just a sexual thing. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I know some girl I used to know in Detroit. We used to see each other all the time. We would see each other like every time I went to Detroit, we would link up, this and that. And we have a great time. And then I tried to spend more than just a weekend with her. And she was nuts. You know what I'm saying? She was put on that face for 3 days. Yeah, we was kicking, having a great time. And then I found out she was an alcoholic. You know what I'm saying? She just had issues. Like, yeah, man, please. I'm telling you, I cleared out the whole book. And you can't, when you're looking for a relationship, you got to let go of the bullshit, man.
Yeah.
You cannot be having these motherfuckers that y'all just fucking, or y'all just having little conversations, y'all playing on the phone and shit like that. No, you cannot do that and be in a relationship. You want to start your relationship out fresh. Yeah. Don't bullshit. Just talk to somebody that you think that you would marry. And that's something that I would tell my nephews, or if my son's autistic, if I could tell him, if I could really communicate with him, I would tell them, hey, don't never even have sex with anyone that could be a potential wife. Because if you end up having a baby with that person, it's going to be hell. Just like I said, I got a 10-year-old right now and her mom is retarded. And I'm talking about, she didn't put me through hell. She keeping me away from the baby. The baby don't want to see me. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's my fault. I chose to lay with her and I shouldn't have did it. And even afterwards, I was like, damn, why I do that? And 3 weeks later, hello, Dad. I was like,
somebody said vasectomy gang. Somebody said vasectomy gang.
Right. Right. I feel you. Hey, I understand.
Well, I get it. I made that. That was one of my things about dating, which is why I didn't really date a lot of guys. My whole thing was I knew my dad was trash, so I was like, okay, I only want to date my biological father is trash. Like, I knew he was trash, so I'm only going to date somebody who is a good father. And it's kind of hard because you have guys who have a great background, and I've seen it. They have a great background, and they're a great guy, and then they have kids, and next thing you know, they're not as present. So it's a little bit more of a gamble with guys who don't have children. But that was my biggest thing, because being married, you can get divorced and you really never have to talk to that person ever again. But once you start bringing kids into the equation, you have to interact with this person. So I was like, okay, is this somebody who I would want to have kids with long term? And that was something that I would rate highly in the dating. I actually broke up with somebody because I was like, I wouldn't want to have kids with you. Like, you're a nut. You're a fucking nut. And I don't ever want to have kids with you. So there's that. But
so the D was good, huh? You was there for a reason. No, it
was, we only dated for like 3 months. The D was how I operate is, if I really like you, if I'm really into you, then that makes the D even great. Okay. Right? Once like that whole, oh, I really like you, or I'm into you phase fizzles out, I don't want to touch you. It feels gross to look at you. So that's why it's very important to me that I need to like this individual as this person. But no, it wasn't a D. He tricked me in the beginning. Like he went in the beginning, he went out on dates, he called me, like he bought me flowers, like he did what you were supposed to do. But there were like red flags that would pop up. And because I was so young, young women and young men, you don't know what to look for when you're jumping into the dating game in your early 20s. So I would see kind of like flashes about things, but I didn't know the difference between, hey, this is just, people are just people, quit being so critical of them. No one is perfect versus, bitch, you are in danger. You need to get out of here. So I had to learn. But once those flags started getting really loud, it was like, okay, the game changing question for me was, would you want to have kids with this person? And the answer was no, I don't want to have kids. So if I don't want to have kids with you, why are we even together? So it was a very good. And then also I look at, I had some really good male role models in my life, and I don't want them to go to jail because I have the wrong dude. I'm trying to sit here and be underneath the dude who wants to put his hands on me. And there, I hate that. I had a cousin who had an abusive dude, and he put his hands on her. Somebody in the family went, set him straight. She was back with him the next week. And I don't want to comment on domestic violence at all, because I understand the psychological mindset behind it. But just on the outside as a person, I would be pissed off if I was somebody's brother and my sister did that, and I could go to jail for beating this dude within an inch of his life, but then you back with him. Right. So I was just like, instead of me having to go through all that messiness, let's just have the foresight of just going on by my business. And I got great. I got great. It was great with it, So okay. I think so. I don't date with too much hurt. I allow everybody. I wouldn't say too much hurt. I don't date with hurt at all. I allow everyone to make their own mistakes.
Right. But see, the thing is, though, even about being hurt, sometimes it's subconscious. So you can try to control the things you can control, but subconsciously, you may not let someone get close to you because of your past experiences. And that's what hurt and trauma will do. It will cause you to not trust people in general. Like, some people think, just like I did. Like I said, when I was younger, I thought, all women was hoes and, this and that. And I just didn't value it other than the sexual and having fun and playing together. That was it. I didn't value the other things because I wasn't going to put myself out there because, and that's the thing. I dealt with so many hoes that after a while it got into my self-conscious that all women were like that. And that's not the case. It's not the case at all. Just like all men are not dogs. I know a lot of guys who are family men, doing their thing, faithful, they're out there. But I think that in the beginning, you guys might overlook certain things because, like I said, when you're dating, it's almost like a movie. And in a movie, it's normally in 3 acts. That's the setup, the conflict, and the resolution. But almost all the times in movies, the person will reveal themselves early on. So you got to listen to that.
Yes.
Sometimes we choose to ignore that. So you got to really look and see, is this a quality person or is this like a shady person? You got to really I'm telling you, in the beginning, they will reveal themselves. You know, he might be doing all that stuff or whatever, giving you flowers and whatnot, but what's his motives? You know, you need to ask more questions. You need to talk more. You need to communicate. You have to in this day and age, because this is your life we're talking about. And that's if you are ready to be in a serious relationship. I mean, if you want to just have fun and find somebody with a nice body and, you know what I'm saying, go ham. But, you know what I'm saying?
Where are those guys with nice bodies at? Right. Get in my inbox.
Yeah. Them was the ones that be dating them prison pen pals, because all they got to do all day do push-ups.
I will drag my vagina over hot coals before I ever date somebody in prison. Like, ever. Like,
all dudes in prison ain't bad. I mean, you know, but you gotta wait till they get out for a minute, and then you can't do it while they're in prison. Yeah, you can't
date nobody in prison.
I'm just saying, not everybody is bad. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, they're not. I'm gonna save those for the ex-convict women, because you know they deserve somebody. If I take all the prison men, who will the ex-convict prison women date? You know, if anything, I'm being nice to them. I'm looking out for them. But you are absolutely right. It is. I wonder, like, I'm an open individual. Period. I'm an open individual. Period. And I'll know, like, when you get into dating, like, guys don't really ask. And I have a friend of mine, and he was like, if a guy doesn't ask you questions about yourself, you just, like, he ain't really interested in you on that deeper level. And it was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense, because I am a person who I like to talk. So if it's too much of a what's that, like a silent moment, I feel like I got to fill it up with noise because you're having an issue coming up with a conversation.
But see stuff like that. I hate when people generalize people. Some people don't talk a lot, but their actions might show them a lot different than, you know, because some people can talk a good game, but their actions is nothing. I would look at and judge somebody more by their actions as well. Like, not just lip service, but what are you doing? Like, not just what you're saying. You know, that makes more sense to me. Like, you know, because people got a lot of game, you know, but man, they ain't about nothing.
I don't. I'm trying to give, because it's not like the conversation. I'm not a person who I can have surface level conversation. Like, that's just not me. So when we have a conversation, you just repeating the questions I ask back to me, it's not really a conversation.
Right. I feel me.
Right.
I think that's just y'all just ain't compatible. That's what it is. You're just not compatible.
And I recognize you know what kind of individual I am. You have hung out with me. It takes a certain individual. So I am my dad. I'm a firm believer in actions. I agree, because people talk is cheap. Talk is cheap, motherfuckers. Like, I agree. So I am more so about actions. But, like, you got to get me to the date first. Like, if you can't even get me off the phone to want to date, to want to meet you, like, how I don't know how to. That's what Kev says. I can't do small talk. Yes, well, I can see why people can't. I do small talk because I have to. I'm a salesperson.
Mm-hmm.
When you're a salesperson, like, you have to be good in small talk. You gotta be good in small talk, short talk, long talk, deep talk. You gotta be all good in those talks, because you never know what type of individual that you get. So maybe I need to be dating somebody in sales. Sales.
I mean, look, like I said, it's all about compatibility. I mean, seriously, it's all about compatibility. If you're not compatible, then it's not going to work, because you're going to settle for things that you don't like. Y'all ain't going to get along. You know, maybe you need somebody that's bubbly like champagne, you know?
I know, right? Yeah. How do you know if you're compatible, Chuck? How do you know when you're compatible with somebody?
For me, I know when I'm compatible with somebody when things just go smooth. Like, everything is going really smooth, and it's just a natural place that we have when we're together. If you bumping heads and, you know, one person want to do this, another person want to do that, you know, y'all arguing over little stupid stuff. Y'all have different philosophies about life. I mean, man, these are things like, hey, that's when I know I'm not really compatible. And then I look at, like, people that hang around like they girls all the time, and you know, you're gonna be judged. You don't have to only impress her, you got to impress her whole crew. Like, that's just not me. I ain't going over there and y'all interrogate me because, you know, I might dog somebody up in there. Don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Don't do that. But just somebody, when things just don't go the same, like I told you, when I met my wife, everything was just, and I've met other people that things have went good at first, but that really wasn't who they were. They were like they were fun. You know what I'm saying? So, and you'll see that. Yeah, exactly. That was perpetrating. Because I'll be like, yeah, because I'm really looking for a serious relationship. I'm not playing. Yeah, I want that too. Yeah, right. Whatever. Okay, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man.
Right. Oh my God. Yeah. Okay.
Your audio.
My audio's off.
It's no, it's on, but it's like a noise. Talk to me.
Is it okay?
Sound like a robot.
Boogity woogity. All right, hold on.
No, can't hear you. Turn your mic on. It's on mute.
Can you hear me?
Yes, there you go. Now you're back.
That sounds horrible. I got to put on my real microphone. It's the internal microphone. I want my mic to be on because when you hear me, I want you to know that I'm saying something.
Right. You gotta have good mic. Absolutely.
Does that help out?
Yeah, I can hear you though.
Okay, cool. I'll have to start telling my online dates so you can dissect them and who was wrong in the scenario. Was it me or was it them?
Oh, I'm gonna keep it real. I'm on the side of right.
That's all I want. I don't need no one to sit there and be on the side of champagne. Just be on the side of right, because that's how you learn. I think men and women need to have certain men and women who are not trying to smash them, or who's not trying to be intimate with them, who has no dog in the fight, so that they can give you their point of view about the opposite sex and just about yourself, so that you can be honest. I remember my sister, she basically told me, like, you need to lose some weight. I was like, that's fair. No. I mean, it hurts, but like the truth is the truth. Like it's gonna hurt, but the truth is the truth, and I got on it, So I think you need people in your life who's going to be honest with you, because honesty is important, and not honesty in a hater move, but honesty as an honesty overall, right? Feedback. And it's up to you whether you want to take that or not. And then I think that you have to be able to also take constructive criticism. Like, I am not perfect. I know a lot of my faults. I know my faults and my flaws from talking to people who know me. So I'm a fan of feedback. I'll go and talk to people who truly know me, people who's been there like day in, day out, not just know like 10% of me, not just know the part where I can show you I'm happy, but the people who actually know me inside and out. I can go to them and get that feedback from, because they know I'm not a dick rider. But I think you also have to be open to that constructive feedback and that constructive criticism. A lot of people get in their feelings when you tell them about themselves, and they're like, no. When women ask men, why do men do X, Y, and Z? And men tell them this, and women are like, no, that's not why y'all do that. Like, that's honest criticism. How can you tell people no? How can you not take that feedback when someone is giving you the game? So I think that if people were more honest and got honest criticism from people who know and love and care about them and want to see the best for them, that they could be better in the dating game. Because there's I talk to people who's been married in the game for years, and people who come to the hotel 20, 30, 40 years been married. And I always ask them, what's the biggest thing? Respect and communication are the biggest two things that come up when it comes to having a long-lasting relationship.
Yes, absolutely. Communication and respect. That's great. That's right.
Thank you. I'm not going to hold you all night. We're coming to this 8:10. It's 10 after.
Okay.
What you got going on, Chuck? What should we keep out? How can we follow you? What should we know about you?
Like I said earlier in the show, if you missed it, I do have a YouTube channel called it's the name of the channel is American Dark Stories, and I'm putting different things on there. Like, I've done a movie, I've done a couple movies actually before, I'm going to put my movie Detroit Boys on there. I'm going to put I got a series coming out where, like I told you, I'm going to be talking about different topics and everything. I already got a couple videos out, and it's called Shut the Fuck Up. It's people that run their mouth too much. They get themselves into a lot of problems. So the one that I'm doing now is, like I said, on the Fonnie Willis thing. I'll make sure I have it ready so I can post it and everything next week. But yeah, that's a channel I just started within the past week. So like I said, 2024, we're gonna be rolling. We're gonna keep this thing going, and we're gonna just do it brick by brick, and we're gonna grow.
Chuck, how come you don't put me in movies no more?
I haven't. You know what? I did one more movie. Right, I forgot about you, bro. In there, I only did one more movie after we did that Detroit Boys movie. Champagne was in there. She was crazy, her crazy self. But I only did one more movie, and that was for some people from New York. And I wasn't in charge of the casting. They paid me to make it, but they wanted, they had the casting and all that or whatever. But I just put it together for them, and and of course I directed it. They acted like they directed it. They didn't know what they were doing.
Oh, okay, you did it.
Yeah, I did everything. Trust, I wrote it, everything. So, but then the next time I put something together, I'm gonna have you on there. Stop playing. I'm
just saying. I just feel like you just don't fuck with me no more when it comes to movies, Chuck. And that shit stops now. That stops now. That's so excellent.
I got you. Any project I have, I got you.
Thank you. For myself, guys, I am on Instagram, Get Rich or Cry Trying, and I'm on YouTube, Get Rich or Cry Trying. So after this, I'll do a little 30-minute commentary on Reddit or what's going on. Tonight, we're going to talk about the Nicki Minaj, Megan Thee Stallion beef that's going on and my unnecessary thoughts for this situation. I'm sure you probably don't get into that. You shouldn't really get into that, Chuck. It's a whole bunch.
But
you got. Do you know what's
no?
Going
I mean,
on?
I seen that diss song or whatever, but yeah, I ain't deep into it. I don't really, going to female beef.
Men had rappers when rappers they got beef. Remember that whole LL Cool J and Can I Bust thing and Jay-Z and Nas, and I think it's just women's beef look a little differently. You gotta. Sometimes we make fun of people who marry sexual rapists. But anywho, we'll be having that on my channel. Check me out, follow me. If you don't follow me, make sure you love this YouTube. If you're on YouTube and you're watching us right now, make sure you make sure you comment on what you want to see our topics with for next week. And thank you guys so much for joining us today. Final thoughts. Yeah. What would you tell your futures? What would you tell young men about being hurt today? How to get past it?
Well, again, final thoughts for all young men listening. Make sure that when you date somebody, be careful because your dick will get you in trouble. Don't be out here messing around and end up getting one of these girls pregnant, because I'm telling you, when you have babies by miscellaneous women, that's one of the biggest hindrances that you can have, because you on the hook for 18 years of child support. You can't file bankruptcy. They're gonna follow you everywhere you go. You can't leave the country until you caught up. They're gonna take your taxes. I mean, it's worse than having a student loan debt. Trust me. And if you in some places they'll put you in jail. I mean, if you, especially these little small counties where they ain't got nothing else to do. If you behind on your stuff, they might put you in jail. They'll charge you with contempt. So be careful who you have sex with, because that could be an 18-year sentence or more.
Yes, talk about it. My final thoughts, ladies, go get counseling. Go work on yourselves. Take time to figure out who you are, what you want. Go heal yourself. Stop taking that pain from the previous relationship into the new relationship. You'll chase away a lot of good men. And I know the thought process is, he should love me any way I am. He should take me as I am. Nah, nobody wants to. That's another form of struggle, love. Why would you want to struggle with someone who's like that, who's fighting with you every step of the way? You don't want that. So ladies, please, 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 if you're concerned about how to keep a man, get that mental together, okay? So you can be a nicer person. All right? That's
right. Okay, y'all. Well, shoot. We're going to see y'all at the same time every week, Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Tune in, and we're going to keep it flowing. We're going to keep it flowing. We're going to have things for y'all every week. So y'all tune on so we can all learn together and we can find Champagne a man.
Man, don't do that. Don't do that. Just,
What? See, take your guard down. Take your guard down.
It's not no guard. I'm all about God's timing. What's meant for me
Okay.
is meant for me. Okay. So,
All
but
right.
but we can unpack everybody's issues and figure out how we can make the best choices, right?
All right. You still for the streets. All right. We get it. But all right, y'all. We'll see y'all next week. All right.
Bye.
Peace. Stay on, Champagne.
I am. I heard you, boss. I listen. And I'm going to talk back.